possibly help turn your financial situation around, would you invest 2 hours of your time?
Yes.
Of course, right? Now, if they say no, that means do not continue. Don't fight with them. Move on. If you know, but see, there is a fine line. If you talk like not sure, you're not quite sure about the meeting, and when you promote like that, people can feel you. But if you say, listen, all I ask for is 2 hours of your time, because if you didn't like it, just pretend you watch a bad movie. But if you like it, it might be something. You said it might be something that could turn your life around. All I ask for 2 hours, and after the 2 hours, I won't bug you no more. Why is it important for them to come in? When they come to a meeting, guess what? They hear testimonials. They see other people's. Guess what? When they do that, the business is no longer about you. Because it's always you talking to people. It's okay. It's good to have a lot of one-on-ones. It's great to have small meetings, home meetings. But after the home meeting, after the one-on-ones, what's your goal? Your number one goal is to promote the event, the next event. We build from event to event. It's called impending events. Okay? So, because people are always looking for what's next. So you sign up now. Your job is next time I want you to come to a meeting, you meet some of my business partners. So you get to learn from people what this business is all about, because I'm telling you, there is something magical when it comes to events. I literally built my entire business through events. Now, speaking of events, we have a major event coming up. If you really want to test this program to see if it works for you, in my 18 years, it's proven to work each and every time. This is proven. The system is proven. Don't try to do it your own way until you succeed. If you want to try to test it, this coming event, the company has a super event at St. Gabriel Hilton. Whoever can bring the most people from your team, either your prospect or your team's prospect, whoever bring the most people will be the most successful. Because there's something magical when you get the people into the situation, into the meeting environment. Are you guys with me so far? Yes. So you got to master basics, and you have to learn to promote the event. And you got to really believe. Remember I told you, when you want something bad enough and you believe you'll get it, you will do all-out massive action to make changes in your life. Because so did I, okay? And I'm going to share with you a story later about that, okay? So how do you edify the information? Now, there's one thing. Another, the basics, pique interest, learn how to invite people to the event, and teach your people to plug into the system, okay? And you yourself got to be willing to put in some time to the meetings that we got to get good at is learn how to edify, okay? What is edification? Edify meaning speaking good of somebody, okay? Now, so in that, I will explain this to you. We have what we call the A, B, C. What is A? A is the experts. Who is the expert? Anybody but you. Always remember that. Most people let themselves be the expert. I don't care what your past history, I don't care whatever you did big in the past. We're dealing with the now. We got to be willing to drop the ego, drop the past to succeed in this business, okay? Now, the A is the expert. Who is the expert again? Anybody but you. That's right. Anybody but us, okay? Now, B is you, okay? You are the person in the business. Who is C? C is the prospect. Now, between you and your prospect, hopefully you guys have trust. Hopefully your prospect trusts you, okay? When you say go this way, hopefully your prospect won't go the other way, okay? So hopefully they trust you. Now, what is your job to do? Your job is to edify the experts. Why you need to edify the experts? The reason why you want to edify the expert is so that prospect will respect. So the prospect will have respect to A. Because if you say nothing about the expert just shows up, they go, who are you? Why should I even listen to you? Are you guys with me so far? So if you could learn to edify, just the edification process, you can literally build your entire business. Because edification ties into promoting events. So when you not only do you edify a person, you can edify the event. An event is something that you must. You know what? Events are lifeline of your business. It's the oxygen, the environment that we need to breathe. See, is it true that in the outside environment there's a lot of negativities out there? True or not true? There's a lot. Doesn't matter what business we do. So, and we got to give people an environment so people feel nurtured, so they can grow and work in the environment. And how we do that is by plugging them into the event, so that it's not based on you. Okay? Now, so your job is to edify the expert. Now, what do you say about the expert? Who is the expert? Anybody but you. And I tell you, to my family, each and every single one of you are experts. I cannot tell my family to use Luminous, but Tina can ask my dad to use Luminous. I cannot tell my father to take reserve, but you know what? Samson can tell my dad to take reserve. How? It's just the human beings, human nature. Why? I don't know. How many of you heard that the saying that the grass is greener on the other side? It's the out of town prophet mentality. Yeah. Because, you know, the prophet in his own town is not of much usage until they travel abroad, okay, or somewhere else. That's just the nature. So your job is to edify. Like, perfect example. We had breakfast with my parents, with Tina. And I was telling my mom and dad. Because I told my mom and dad a long time, I told my mom, Mom, you had a big eye bag. Put Luminous in your eyes, it's going to help you. Wouldn't even touch it, okay? So Tina was right there. I said, Mom, Tina had a lot of success in Luminous. And her people, her team is very successful using Luminous. You know, and Tina just showed my mom the hand. And guess what happened? My mom started using Luminous on her face. But it took me like months. I couldn't get my own mother to use Luminous. But it took someone else. Why? I tee up Tina. I have to edify. What is edify? Edify meaning you tee up somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody make a lot of money. No. It could be, you just tee up some good characteristics of that person. It could be that person have a golden heart, a heart of gold. Or it could be that person's very successful in their own rights, in their own business. If some of you might have noticed, when I introduce people to other people, I always find the best of that person. And I would tell that story to whoever I'm introducing. What am I doing? I'm teeing up that person. Because in business, when you have trust plus respect, you know what you get? You got a sale. You got to have trust and respect. Most of you came into Jeunesse because someone told you about it. If I were to go, look, if I were to go to a car wash, if I were to go to a gas station, and you don't know me from Adam, I just came up to you and said, listen, you got to try this adult stem cell thing. You got to try resveratrol. You probably think I'm nuts. You probably run away from me. But if somebody had teed me up or tee you up to be the expert, well, now, you don't have to be the expert on products. No, you could be the expert on anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you tee up some good characteristic so that when this person talks, guess what happens? The prospect will listen because there's respect. Are you guys with me so far? Yeah. So we need to get very good at edification. I have people that literally built a nationwide organization by learning to edify the person they're working with. See, in this business, you are in business for yourself, right? But not by yourself. Because you have your upline or the upline leader, the upline expert to work with you to help you build your business. So you have to understand the relationships amongst the people, because this is a people business. So the third thing you have to learn is really edify. Now, edify, don't go ed a lie, okay? Edify means tell the truth about whoever that person you're working with. They might be a nurse, they might be a business owner. You know, I love telling April and Harry's story. They're business owners. I mean, because you know why? Most people have the ideology of business owner makes a whole lot of money, okay? Sometimes it's true. But what most people don't realize that a lot of times, especially the economy like this, business owners are suffering. Because before they make a dime, they have all this overhead. They have the fixed overhead to pay before they even pocket the money. A lot of business owners nowadays, their staff, their employee are making more money than they themselves. So, but the reason why I like to tell other people's story is that to build credibility, to build belief. Okay? So, to edify is another thing that you have to really learn to be good at. The next thing we have to do is you yourself leaders have to be good at meeting conducts. Meeting conducts, what are they? We all know that in a meeting environment, that's where we do business, right? So having said that, it's very important for us as leaders to arrive on time, not late, to arrive on time if not early, okay? Meeting conduct is to arrive on time and to help out. I mean, look, this meeting is for you guys. I mean, I tell you, from day one, when my sponsor told me, whoever holds a marker, whoever helps set up the room, are the one that make the most money. I was the first one to volunteer. I said, show me. Just teach me how. So this meeting, whenever I go to a meeting, the first thing I do, you guys are leaders. I mean, that's why when I say leadership meeting, please don't bring any new people. Because when you have new people, I can't cover some of the stuff, okay? When a meeting like this, any meeting, any event, what's the first thing you need to look for? To make sure the event is all set up. If not, you need to take charge and get it to set up. Because why? The meeting, the event is for whom? And not for you. For whom? For your prospect. Okay? So you got to come early and take pride, take charge. Don't just, oh, it's not my team, I'm sitting here and slouching. No, because maybe right now it's not your team. Eventually it may be your team. It will be your team. Okay? Now, the other thing is it's very important. You are leaders. Please participate. Okay? Because participation is key. What do I mean by participation? When the speaker asks you, how many people would like to make some money? Show of hands. Yay. That's really exciting, you know, okay? So let's try one more time. How many people would like to make some money? Yay. Show of hands. See, I tell you, I don't need you to fake and hoo-hoo-hoo. No need for that. But when you participate genuinely, guess what? That excitement, that enthusiasm is contagious of people around you. I was taught a long time ago that a lot of this make you a lot of money, okay? I said, just show me how to do it. I will clap the loudest you want me to clap. And I actually had invented a way to clap really loud, okay? It's like going like this. But anyway, I won't go there today. So you got to do a lot of this, a lot of this. We got to participate because it's not for you. It's for whom? For the people sitting next to you, for your prospect. This is very important. Now, this is leadership. I need you to crack a smile because it's not easy to be up here, guys. When you're up here, you realize one of these days when you do a meeting and Rick is nodding, he's like, yeah, it's really nerve-wracking sometimes. And you know what? The speaker is only as good as the audience. So we need you. When you're sitting down, kind of crack a smile because we need that smile. We need that energy to feed to the audience. So, and because if you're like no expression face, please, we need that from you, each and every single one of you. Because if, let's say that you have a prospect sitting next to you. If the speaker says, how many of you would like to make some extra money? And your prospect don't raise their hand, you're not you do, come on, you know? See, because by you doing that, it becomes fun. It becomes a whole gelling environment. So I couldn't emphasize enough, I need that from you. And then also, very important, the meeting conduct, when you come, please sit down with your prospect in the front. Unless we're totally packed, usually we're packed now. So if we're packed, then you can give the seat to the prospect. But do sit next to your prospect. I see a lot of people over the years, you know what they do? They sit their prospect in the front. They go, you sit here, okay? I'm going to hang back there with the big players. No, you sit there with them. You know why? When you sit there with your prospect, you know what your prospect likes or what he or she doesn't like. When your prospect doing a lot of this, you know what they're doing? They're buying. Okay? So you need to be with them so you can be participating. It becomes contagious with your prospect. So it's very important you sit with them. Now, if you are sitting in the front, it's very important that don't save seats. Because when you save seats, guess what happened? The meeting starts, your prospect don't show up, we have a couple of empty seats, and then you know what happened? During the meeting, the person you're sitting in the front, you keep looking back to see if your prospect had came. First, if your prospect actually walked up, it'll be interruptive to people around them. Second, if you're sitting in the front, you keep looking back, guess what the people behind you will do? They all look back. And it could be that very same word that the speaker would say. It could be that key phrase, that concept, that thoughts, that idea the speaker spoke about. Then when everybody turned, it could be that very same thing that helped you close the deal. So it's very important that you sit in the front with the prospect. And when you're sitting in the front, if you're expecting people, please, 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 when the meeting starts, don't keep looking back. If you keep looking back, the whole crowd will go with you. Okay? So these are the very little things. but it makes a world of difference. And you gotta get good at really participating, okay? And so these are some of the stuff, and the other thing is get good at how to close. After you took the time, you invite your prospect to an event, into any meeting, and then they come. At the end of the meeting, you know what I see some people do? They get up, they go, oh, go, let's go to my house. We go, or let's go eat. We go. And then you take everybody, you start leaving the room. After the meeting, if you get up, guess what the people next to you do? They will get up. After the meeting, what you do is you grab a chair, you form a little circle, and you face them. And please have your application ready. You can download it from the website. You guys, we're independent business owners. That means you got to learn to be independent, but at the same time, plug into the system. So many times, after the meeting, oh, I need an application. Do you have an application? Please, have your own. Can we do that? This is your tool. This is your business. How many have seen people do that? Maybe you yourself are guilty. Okay? So please, we need to have application. Download, make some copy. Because unless you have online internet, and I suggest when you start making some money, really get a Wi-Fi computer that has a internet card. And then you can start enrolling people online. But it's much faster. You have an application. So how to close? After the meeting, don't have a habit of taking them home. What you do is form a circle, face them. Luz, wasn't it great? Which package do you like best? That's right. Now, I do not say, what do you think? If I say, hey, Luz, what do you think? You know what she'll say? Let me think about it. It's kind of interesting. How many of you heard that?
Think about it.
Oh, give me some time, yeah. Yeah, let me go home and check with my husband, okay? So I usually don't ask them what they think. I only ask them, what do you like best about it? Which program did you like best? Okay? Now, if she said, well, I think, I'm not too sure about which one. And I said, well, I can tell you what, from a professional opinion, what you could do. So you can, if you really look at this as a business, the minimum thing you should do is to start with a jumbo program. So you can get some product and you can, share with family. And they go, oh, that sounds interesting. I said, okay, great. Let me show you how to get started. Then I get my application. And I said, now, when they send out the check, what name you want to be put under? Why? Because you want to pick an idea. What name would you like the check to go to? They go, me, mine, okay? Very few will say go to my husband or my spouse, okay? So you go, okay, Mike, your name is great. Now, what address would you like your check to be sent to? The address, right? Okay, great. And then your date of birth. Now, the last part I will ask is social, because people are very sensitive about social. Now, so trust me, don't worry about proceeding. Some people say, oh, what if they say no? I said, listen, if they say no, they will let you know anyways. If you get to and say, okay, great, let's say you proceed with the information. Okay, what is your social? So the company, at the end of the year, if you make more than $600, they'll 1099 you. Okay, they put it right there. And don't worry, afterwards, I can shred it or I can let you take it home. Okay, the application. So great. Now, I need your autograph right here. I don't say I need you to sign. Because usually when you say sign, that means read. They can read a whole bunch of stuff, okay? So I would say I need your autograph right there. And then when it comes to payment, I will usually say, now, would you like to put that on your MasterCard or your Visa? I don't say, how would you want to pay for it? No. You do the assumptive close. Are you guys with me so far? Yeah. Would you like to put on your MasterCard or your Visa? Now, a lot of times people say, oh, okay, I'll put it on my Visa, MasterCard. Now, when people say, well, I'm not ready. If by then they're not ready, it is okay. They will tell you anyway. If they're not ready, say, great. Well, can I help you answer some of your objections? What are some of the things that prevent you from getting ready? What are some of the things that's keeping you back? Then when you ask a closing question, what do you do? See, a lot of times when people ask, for example, which program do you like Luz? And then when the prospect's quiet, guess what they start doing? They start yakking. Oh, you know what? You really should go with the basic or the jumbo, blah, 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 blah. When you, remember, after you ask a closing question, whoever speaks the first loses. When you ask a closing question, which package you like more? Now, if a silent game going on, it's okay. Let them think. And I have to go, I wait. A lot of people cannot tolerate silence. I wait and I smile. If they have questions, they'll ask me anyways. So many times, people are so afraid to close. Why after prospect? Like let's say for example, and this is me. I'm telling you, 18 years ago, this is me. My sponsor was a tall Chinese guy. And I had 6 people right there. And after the meeting, he was right there, handing all my prospect and application. And I go, it's okay. I said, I'll take care of them. I'll take them home and I'll take care of them. And he like, give me, like, if look can kill, he will kill me. Okay? And he started asking questions. He won't let them go. He started asking questions, filling the app. And I felt so uncomfortable with it. I said, listen. I said, they're not ready. Let them go home. Let them think about it. And so they will let me know. Guess what happened to 6 of them? They thought about it. Never came back. Okay? Because you know why? Human nature. A lot of times, because there's a lot of opposition to MLM. And a lot of misunderstanding about MLM. And the very minute they leave here, when they deal with the real world outside, guess what happened? Their friends and relatives and out of the kindness of their heart, they thought they knew MLM. They thought they knew the industry. They thought they had experience. There's many experts out there. So whenever, oh, lucky you didn't sign up that day. If you sign up, man, you'd be one of those people that got sucked into the game. They go, oh, thank goodness. Then from then on, whenever you try to call them back, they never pick up the phone no more. Because why? Other people got to them. Those are called dream stealers that steal them away. Okay? So I tell you what, some of you might be uncomfortable doing closing. Trust me, if they are not ready, they would have told you, I'm not ready. If they're not ready, great. What are some of the things that I can do to help answer your objections? Or what are some of the things, questions that you have? If I can answer. Now, some people will start throwing questions at you, one after another. And when it gets to a point, there are people that will ask you questions just to ask you questions. So if they start asking you one question, and then second question, by the third question, I say, listen, if I can answer all of your questions tonight to your satisfaction, will you get started with me? If they say no, I'm not ready, I say, you know what, come back when you're ready to make a decision, then I will sit down until whatever it takes, I'll answer all of your questions. Because there's no sense to sit there all day, all night, answering all the questions, because you already prefaced it to them. You said, listen, if I can answer all of your questions to your satisfaction, will you be able to make a decision and get started with me? Sure. And if they say sure, then you take whatever time it takes to answer their question. If they say, no, not really, then I will say to them like this. I say, listen, you know what, that's okay. Whenever you're ready to make a decision, once all your questions are answered, when you're at that stage in your life, then you come to me. See, why? If people respect you more when you respect your own time. Because you sit there and you all that, no use. I remember when I started working with Samson and started working with Robert, you know what those 2 guys would do? They would travel all over Los Angeles area. They would do training after training after training. And I said, where's the body? I said, where are all these people? Oh, they haven't joined yet. I said, why? You doing free volunteer work? I said, why? You train people before they even get started. You don't get paid for doing that. So, this just when you start respecting your